Hey guys, it's Mike here, and today I'm going to be bringing you another segment on Dragon Ball Z. In this segment, we're going to be talking about something that I don't believe I've really heard anyone talk about, at least in video form, in the past. I mean, it seems like it's something that's been brought up in the Dragon Ball community over the years, but this is more of a character introspective and talking about character motivations with a certain character. In this case, we're going to be talking about Piccolo. And the topic therein is going to be introduced, but let me introduce my special guest at this point in time, and his name is...
My name is Nobody. No, I am Geekdom. Hello, Mike.
Nobody is attacking me. Let's see if anyone gets that reference in the comment section down below.
Greatest story ever told.
Yes. Well, one of them. They always kind of say this one's the greatest, this one's great, whatever. But yeah, today we're going to be talking about Piccolo, and why Piccolo didn't have any sons of his own. Now, for reference, kind of introspective about this, we know that Namekians are able to asexually reproduce. So, when we go to the Namekian saga, or the Namekian arc, when we look up and we go to the planet itself, we see that, Super Kami Guru, the
Saichoro is his name, bro.
Yes, Saichoro.
If Jay were here, he'd smack you.
Yes, he would. Shout out to that angry Australian. But anyway, once we got to that planet, we saw that he essentially recreated the entire Namekian race all over again by himself. And then we can go back to Dragon Ball. And in Dragon Ball, we see King Piccolo has his own children, which includes Piccolo, Piccolo Jr. So we kind of have to wonder, why didn't Piccolo, after all these years, and likely having the capabilities to do this, I don't see why not, why didn't he have any sons of his own? And, D, why do you think that is?
Well, I mean, a couple of the theories that I had heard throughout the years is that Piccolo Jr., or so, the son of Piccolo Daimao, did not have that ability. He did not inherit that ability, which is why he also inherited the ability, or did inherit the ability to be pure evil. In the original story, the idea was that Kami and Piccolo were two sides of a coin, the good and the evil. But then when we get to the Dragon Ball Z arc, we see that Piccolo has his arc where he becomes a good guy. And therefore, one of the popular fan theories is that he never inherited the ability to reproduce. That's what I had always thought. But there's nothing in the guidebooks and there's nothing in the manga or the anime that specifically states this. So it is just headcanon. Another theory is that Piccolo, perhaps after, helping to raise Gohan, perhaps he understood that he didn't want kids, because when you're around certain kind of kids, you don't really want them. That could be a possibility, that just being around Gohan kind of turned him off to raising kids. And of course, Gohan is kind of a surrogate son to him. And if you don't believe me, go watch one of BLACKENFIST videos. And don't worry, there's, he'll upload it sometime in the next year. But but that's another theory. Perhaps he kind of realized that if he had a kid, that maybe he would have to look out for the kid. He didn't want that kind of responsibility. It's never brought up, so there's really no actual explanation, unless you have something that I'm forgetting.
Well, going back to Gohan, I do kind of feel like maybe not being turned off, so to speak, for having children, but in a lot of ways, actually, I kind of feel like Piccolo, instead of regarding Gohan, say, as a friend, because, there is that age closeness, he's only, 4 years older than Gohan, or however many years, but in terms of human years, because Namekians age 3 times faster than humans, but I feel like it's essentially that Piccolo looks at Gohan like his own son.
Yes.
Because he did help to raise him, and he has, looked out for him even more than Goku in many cases, because Goku has been dead or off training in many of the years, and it seems like Piccolo was always there to, help him out. So I feel like Piccolo, maybe he viewed Gohan as his son, so he just said, I don't need to reproduce, I don't need to create any children of my own, via an egg or whatever, because Gohan is...
Well, not to mention, I believe, is it not also stated in the manga, if I remember correctly, that whenever Piccolo Daimao creates a being, it takes away some of his life force?
Yeah.
Perhaps Piccolo was worried about losing too much of his life force. That's another thing it could be as well.
That is very possible as well. And when you think about it, that is a very interesting, kind of idea that Toriyama put into this. whenever a Namekian has his own, say, children or spawns, it takes away some of his life force. And so adding all that up over the years and years, it's almost like they're sacrificing themselves to propagate their own race. And it's a very interesting and kind of a thoughtful idea in that case.
Well, we do that too, just indirectly.
Yes. Through money, they sap that away. But
and our souls.
Oh, yes, definitely. Especially if they're not intentional. But, yeah, I mean, that's another thing. And, you know, in that case, we kind of have to wonder, I mean, how long would Guru or the Grand Elder have lived in that case? You know, I mean, maybe he could have lived even longer. He did have hundreds of children after all, but...
That's right. Yeah, well, he was special, too.
Oh, yeah, definitely. He was very special, and, I mean, he just... It's weird because... The thing is, too, about Piccolo not inheriting that. Piccolo is still a part of the Dragon Clan, and the thing is that even if he didn't somehow have it after he was spawned by Piccolo Daimao, it is entirely possible that it got reactivated once he refused with Kami. Because, you know, again, Kami was the dragon class, or, you know, they were both a part of that, you know, specific clan. They were both one half or one piece of that nameless Namekian that came from Namek. So it's also possible that maybe he reactivated that when he refused. I mean, you know, reunited and became one whole again.
Yeah, I mean, but he never had kids after that either way.
Yeah, so, I mean, it just seems like it's coming down to... Maybe he views Gohan as his. Maybe he doesn't want to, you know, spawn any children because it would take away from his strength. And, you know, he wants to be as strong and on guard as possible. Or maybe he just likes a solitary life. You know, maybe he wouldn't want to raise a child. I mean, not everyone does. You know, some people just don't want to have kids. They want to, you know, be a bachelor forever. Although we know, you know, Piccolo's probably not getting any unless, you know, something's going on with him and Chi-Chi. I mean, he supposedly stays over her house and eats food with her on occasion, but, you know.
Yeah, which, when now they can eat now all of a sudden, the retcon.
Yeah.
He loses, freaking Piccolo loses his ability to sense God Ki, and he also loses his ability to not eat.
Yeah.
Great.
I mean, maybe, I don't know, maybe he's just kind of a, one of those people who just enjoys things for the sake of enjoying them. I mean, I guess Piccolo is a little bit...
Like pussy, yeah, I guess you're right.
I mean, you know, like Chi-Chi in this case. But anyway, I feel like that's basically it. I think that it's just, you know, Toriyama just didn't write it, of course. I mean, that's always a meta reason. But on top of that, it's just Piccolo might view Gohan as his own son, and really might not have the intention or even ability to create his own because of the way he was spawned. And I just feel that this is a very interesting topic because not really many people talk about this, and it's really interesting to delve within the psyches of these different individual characters, especially someone like Piccolo, who really has so much lore and history behind him, you know, when he carries over the stuff from Piccolo Daimao. And, you know, the Namekians are just such an interesting race that it's definitely something that I feel was worth getting into. But this has been another segment on Dragon Ball Z in which we are talking about Piccolo and whether or not he would have children or why he didn't. Let us know your own thoughts on this down below. Why do you think he didn't have any children? And of course, don't forget to check out Big D's channel, which will be in the description. And don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. As I always say, stick around, because there's a lot more to come in the future.
And don't forget to subscribe. Do it now.
Do it now.
Meanwhile in Satan City.
You know, I sure am hungry after doing all the bitching I've been doing lately, Piccolo.
Yeah, you sure do a lot of that, Chi-Chi.
What was that?
I guess I'm hungry too now since apparently me eating is canon again.
You know, there's this new restaurant in town that I've been meaning to go to.
Oh, really? What kind of restaurant would that be?
Well, now that you mention it...
Wait a second. No! No! No!
And you better subscribe!